Hi everyone, let's paint together today this beautiful, small, 15 centimeters or 6 inches mandala lily of the valley. And yes, it's a little bit futuristic, but why not? Why we can't experiment? So let's start it. As always, we need to find the center of our base. I'm linking a video with instruction if you need one. And after that, we will create circles every 1 centimeter and lines every 15 degrees. It's pretty classic way of create lines, so you can obviously use a lot of different tools, but this is the example how to find it the easiest, for me at least, ways. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some secrets. So every 1 centimeter circle. It's not too often, not too many lines, especially with small objects. Really, don't overload with marks your base. And for this one, I will create a lot of custom colors because I want to make it really light. So obviously, the central part we're doing with the green color, cheryl green, as usual. I'm a little bit moving paint around to make a nice surface, because when it's dry out, I wanna blend something else on the top. Just to make this really interesting, I'm adding small dots around, row of dots, really small one, every space between lines, and the color is sour apple. Just to balance this pretty dark green and with a little bit light green. If you don't have this one, you can create just a custom color with the same green one. As usual, as close as you can, but not touching each other. And you can come back later on and add a little bit more paint on the top to make these dots more visible. So you know. The next one, I'm creating a row of the dots every second line on our first row. And the color I'm using, my first custom color. All colors and materials, as always, on description box below this video. Really nice. I made enough paint on top. I'm not worried because it's a lot of space between. And now, second custom color. As you see, I'm going between my dots by every second line, and I'm giving enough space between this. Like between first and second our marks row. Yes, we're leaving some space, but we will fill this later on. Don't worry about that. It's kind of symbol how small and nice these flowers are. A little bit bigger tool. And custom color number 3, we are creating bigger dots, symbolizing bigger flowers at the bottom of this flower. And you see that we are locating this between second and third circle row, circle line, our marks line, and it's between our bluish lines, closer to the third line, technically touching third line. And yes, I'm placing a lot of paint, like a lot, to make my dots when dry out pretty visible from and popping out from the surface. Like that. So now we're moving forward. I want to walk around with smaller dots, and the color I will use is baby blush. So with a little bit bigger tool, I'm creating these big dots on the top, and with smaller one I'm walking around. And because this color is so light, It means they're so bright on this black surface. You may notice that every single dot that you are creating are pretty visible. So pay attention, like create this like careful. And yes, I know it's pretty difficult because there are so many dots and they're so small. So what I'm doing, usually I'm paying close attention that I'm not tired when I'm creating those, because when you're tired your brain just jumping and trying to make it as soon as possible. You don't need this. You remember that painting is also our meditation, so taking good care about our mental health and creating a lot of small dots, and don't rush. Like that. And now let's start our experiment. With our custom color number 3 and small brush, I will create small strokes around. Starting from the next line a little bit up. And you see I'm creating only half of the flower. And yes, I just wanna symbolically show how many flowers on this beautiful flower, and there are a lot of like they're small one, and it's mix of light color and a lot of greenish colors, so it's kind of a little bit this my expression. Yeah, I don't want to explain, but I'm kind of explaining why I decided to go with this interesting colors combination, but it's kind of it is what it is. And next one, as you see, with the same brush, I'm creating with gel green, the color that I did use for the central dot. And yes, it's really interesting, I must say. But yeah, I got this idea, and now we are creating this beautiful mandala. Beautiful and really interesting. Next step, create a little bit smaller flowers. The base we are creating with our custom color number 2 on this between circle lines and obviously between flowers that we just created. Again, plenty of paint I'm leaving on the surface to make this popping out from the surface. Our custom color number 3, again the same way, with a little bit bigger tool, 1.5 millimeter, I'm creating these dots on the top. With my measurement, this is on the cross between circle line and regular line, but literally look at your painting, because we all creating this our own way, just a little bit on the top of the dots, and after that with the same color but a little bit smaller tool, I'm walking around. Again, be like patient, like a little bit calm down, and don't rush. I know it's difficult, but that is the point. And once you finish, the same way, but you may choose a little bit smaller brush to create smaller strokes. The same way, with custom color number 2, with this bluish color, Starting from this line, I'm going with with only half a flower again. You see this on a video. A little bit, even with brush, you can move bubbles if you see some on your paint. Like that. And second half again with jelly green. In the same way. You see, strokes really small, and that is the point. I want to create really small flowers to symbolize this beautiful flower. Like that. Really cute. A little bit smaller too. And I will use my first custom color, this space between circle lines. Again, we're creating base for our small flowers. And again, the same way, walking around with 1mm tool on the top, small dots with baby blush color. Like that. You see, I'm inside my circle line, but you can be literally on the top of your circle line. We're talking about millimeters, so it's possible. And after that, with 0.5mm tool, I'm walking around with the same baby blush color. Yeah, it's a lot of dots. And now the same way with my first custom color and small brush, small strokes around. I'm starting from this first, from at the angle circle line. Again, only half of flower. This is our first custom color. Like that. And after that, second half again with jewel green. I also will use a lot of 3D drops, really gentle colors that I just received, so to balance this painting, but obviously later on. So we got some space over there, so let's create this small flowers. I got these nice 3D drops, Nuvo Cloud 9, and over there on the top you see this line, our last line on top of these flowers. I will create base for my flowers. So this time I'm not placing the paint on a base. I'm literally creating base for my flowers with small 3D drops. And with a thin tool, or sometimes I'm just using a needle, I'm creating really small tails towards our flowers. You see this on a video. And you may need to wait until it's dry out, or if you're brave enough with small brush, you can create strokes around. This is our custom color number 3. And we just creating really small gentle strokes around. You obviously can even use tools, you don't need a brush. I just believe it's a little bit saving time when I'm using brush. Like that. And now I want to create like a little bit small trick, how to make it looks like lily of the valley. And I decided to go with the same brush and create nice small strokes like that. So technically I'm putting my brush like 3-4 millimeters from the stroke and creating these really small strokes around. Again, you may use tools for this, but I just go with the flow and it's really cute actually. You can do the same with 3 drops. Also will be nice. And also I decided to do the same with my previous row of flowers because I got some space. So with our first custom column, we just created these ones. Remove additional water, obviously. And I'm just doing the same only with this half that created with this first custom column. Like that. As I said, this is a little bit futuristic. Like that. We need to wait until everything dry out, and after that we can add a lot of dots, much more dots. Just because we are leaving this dry out, I'm adding small dots over there on top with the same Cloud 9 3D drops. And yes, after that we definitely need to wait until everything dry out. Everything dry out. I added a little bit on the top of these small dots, more paint, to make it just more beautiful with the same tool and the same paint. And now we can place much more details. A really small one tool, a 1 millimeter, maybe even half millimeter. As a color, I'm using my custom color number 3. And I'm doing this, as you see, between these yellowish dots, 2 small dots, just small details. Like that. Between these bluish dots, I decided to go with Cloud 9 dots, 3D drops, really small ones. Because I want to show how beautiful these flowers and small they are, I want to play with really small, tiny dots. Like that. We got some space on next row of flowers, so I got this bluish and a little bit greenish 3D drops. So I want to play with those also. All of those are really light, as you see. So this is a little bit greenish one. Frosted Lake. It's like a little bit spot between flowers and again really small tiny dots. All materials in description below this video. And we got some space over there. Let's place more dots with the color dark egg blue. Really small dots placing on the base of these flowers, really small ones. And you can, within tool, make really small tiny tails toward the center. like that, really small, tiny ones. Next step, these small spaces. Cloud 9, on the top of this bluish next row of flowers. Again, really small ones. And I decided to place the small ones also dots on the bottom of these flowers. You can see this on the video. And a little bit on the top of previous row of flowers. Just between strokes. Like that. Just play with this. You can add more or less. I just want to symbolically show how beautiful it is. How small of these flowers. And this frosted lake, 2 dots on the base of our next row of flowers. You can see this on the video. And we got some spaces. I got a really thin brush and I want to balance this sour apple color because I didn't use it anywhere, just only in center. So with this row of flowers, I'm adding additional really thin small strokes from both sides. And this way I'm playing with the space by placing these strokes. And at the same time, as I said, I'm balancing colors because sour apple color I did use only in the center, and it's when you're using color you need to balance this, so it should be somewhere else. And I decided to go with this small trick. Like that. And obviously I got some more spaces over there. So why I shouldn't add anything? I should. Dark egg blue. I just created 2 small dots from both sides of these flowers. You can definitely leave it like that. Or add more or add less. Really up to you. I just want to more and more symbolically show how small these beautiful flowers on the top of a flower. And yes, I promised you the secret. The lily of valley is my favorite flower. That's why I definitely will create more and more variations of mandala with showing this flower. So, promising more. And small also with a frosted egg lake, sorry. Like over there, I'm just playing with the space. And yes, we finally finished. It's a beautiful mandala. More tutorials on my Patreon channel, that a lot of them free for my subscribers. And see you next video. Bye!